Welcome back to Marvelous Dads. I'm Dave Mendonca. Today I am talking about the best and worst of Marvel Studios Phase 4. Wow. So this phase has probably been the most polarizing for Marvel fans and fans of fandom because so many people have been trashing this phase and saying how it's disjointed, it's all over the place, where are you taking me, all that sort of thing. I will offer my opinion on this matter, as well as the top Phase 4 movies and TV shows, and we'll also discuss the specials too. All right. So personally, for me, I thought Phase 4 was good. Was it perfect? No. I saw Phase 4 as basically planting seeds for future phases, right? Building up to Secret Wars. So you got to be patient, guys. I'm watching all these YouTube channels featuring, talks about Phase 4 and all these nerd channels and all that sort of thing. And everyone's crying. I'm hearing all this crying about, oh, it's not connecting to this. Where's Kang over here? How come it's all over the place? It's a hodgepodge. Da 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 da. Anyway, so that's fine. That's your opinion. Great. Awesome. For me, I just took it as they're just setting things up, man. You got new characters coming in. There is no Steve Rogers right now. There is no Iron Man right now. So you got to introduce new characters. And guess what? Not everyone knows Shang-Chi. At least they didn't back then. So you got to set him up. Not everyone knows She-Hulk. You got to set her up. You got to plant those seeds, establish the origin stories, that sort of thing. That's what made the MCU so great to begin with, when they took the time to set up Steve Rogers with his own solo film and Thor and all that sort of thing. Okay. So that's my take. I think Phase 4 was fine in regards to setting things up. You just have to be patient. There's a lot of talk about how there were so many projects in Phase 4. There's no doubt about it, right? We're talking 17 projects. I believe it was 7 movies and 8 TV shows or streaming shows and 2 special presentations. That's a lot of content. And that is in 2 or 3 years they pumped that out. Ridiculous. So yeah, not everything is going to be a winner. I understand that. But I personally think Phase 4 has been really harshly criticized, and I don't think it was necessary. Just me. Maybe it's not a popular opinion. Just my thoughts. All right. So I'll give you my picks of the best and worst of Phase 4. Let's talk about the best Phase 4 movies. Okay, we'll go top 3. For me, Spider-Man No Way Home. Even though I knew all 3 Spideys were in there, when you see them on the screen for the first time and they're making their individual appearances, then they collectively come together, and just the camaraderie amongst the guys was fantastic. Like that brotherhood thing. And man, I loved Andrew Garfield in that. For me, he was the standout in Spider-Man No Way Home. I loved the premise. I loved the villains, trying to redeem the villains and all that sort of thing. Perfect. I thought it was a terrific movie. For me, number 2, Shang-Chi. Love the action. Love the fantasy. I gobble that stuff up. Flying dragons. I am there. No problem. Just great entertainment. I love the action sequences, the bus scene, all these other action scenes, the story. It was romantic action. It was just some of the choreography of the action scenes was like that Hidden Tiger, Crouching Tiger, Dragon movie back in the day. I totally butchered that title. I'm sorry. You know it better than I do. You probably know the title. Anyway, so I thought Shang-Chi fantastic. Shang-Chi fantastic movie. Well done. Looking forward to the sequel. The third one, out of the top 3 for Phase 4 is Wakanda Forever. I thought Ryan Coogler did a solid job in an impossible situation. You lose your franchise star. How the heck do you put together a blockbuster without your go-to guy? You just can't believe it. So he did it. He pulled it off. Pardon me. He did a great job. I thought the action was epic. I thought the introduction of Namor was solid. I thought Shuri, her character rising to the top, did great. I thought Letitia Wright was fantastic. and it was just really well done. It was well done. It's not probably going to get the critical acclaim of the first Black Panther, but man, for what they had to go through, the cast and crew and Coogler and all those guys, well done. I thought it was a good film. All right, so those are my top three best Phase 4. So we're talking Spider-Man No Way Home, we're talking Shang-Chi, and Wakanda Forever. All right, so worst movies of Phase 4 for me, the worst movie, Eternals. In my opinion, like, I am sorry to the Eternals cast and crew. Of course, you didn't want to make a bad film. I totally get that. It's just my personal opinion. I think Eternals is the worst movie in the MCU so far. For me, it was epically dry, long-winded, could have been edited a lot better, and that sort of thing. And you're trying to introduce 10 superheroes. Man, it was rough. It was rough. The villain in the film, yeah, it's just a lot of pieces that were just, I was left scratching my head. The CGI was suspect in the mid-credit scene, that kind of thing. So it was, for me, Eternals number one was not that great. Number two, Thor: Love and Thunder. I really wanted to like that movie. I loved Ragnarok. For me, Ragnarok, top 3 MCU film. It is third, and so right now, Ragnarok is third behind Endgame number 1 and Infinity War number 2 on my list of the best in the MCU. But Thor: Love and Thunder, it just felt like it was missing stuff. Yeah, it was leaning on the humor a lot. It didn't have the same balance as Ragnarok did in regards to dark and humor. It felt a little bit empty, hollow at times, and I don't know. Like, all I've been hearing is that there's been stuff left on the editing floor that was brilliant. I remember Christian Bale saying there was brilliant stuff that was edited out. We don't see the Grand Master. He was edited out, and other people as well. So we're missing stuff, and I don't know why. And unfortunately, it produced a film that was okay. It was all right. For me, the highlight in that film is when Russell Crowe, who plays Zeus, he trots down a set of stairs in like a tennis skirt. Hilarious. For me, that was the best part of the film. Okay, so that's that one. And yeah, the third worst of Phase 4, Black Widow. I thought Black Widow was okay. It was blah, it was okay. I'd rewatch it. In fact, I started to the other day, and I thought, okay, it's all right. It's not fantastic. But it is what it is. It was just weird how they inserted it where they did. It should have happened chronologically after Civil War. They should have given Scarlett Johansson the film way before than they did. So it felt like awkward placement. So yeah, so those are the worst films for me in Phase 4. So we got Eternals, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Black Widow. All right, let's talk the streaming series. For me, my favorite streaming series of the MCU so far, Loki. I just love this, quirky, demented, subversive, weird, kind of Doctor Who-ish feeling to the series. And, Tom Hiddleston, fantastic. The cast and crew were great. I just loved the ending. Like, what a payoff. I loved the introduction of He Who Remains, who obviously is Kang, which is a great way to set up the multiverse saga. I loved the way that series ended. I loved all the Easter eggs. It was such good fun. For me, easily number 1 MCU streaming series thus far, or from Phase 4. All right, number 2, I enjoyed Ms. Marvel. I thought the humor was great. The Illuminati's aunties. I thought the cast was solid. It was good fun. It was a nice a palate cleanser. It was good fun. It wasn't too intense. So I thought Ms. Marvel was solid. At number 3, WandaVision. It was the first one out of the gate after the start of the pandemic. I think it was released in 2021, and a lot of hype around it. I thought it was a good series. Personally, I felt the first 3 episodes were really slow. And I understood it was building up to let you know that Wanda had created this show in her head, the sitcoms and stuff like that. But I felt that could have been done a lot quicker because you sort of get it after the first episode or second episode. Just me. So, but the performances were great. Elizabeth Olsen, what a powerhouse this girl is. She just knows how to embody that character, and she's just got such range. And Paul Bettany, he's got this, this very graceful, like a graceful nature to his Vision character, and the emotions that were struck in that series, and there was some good MCU action in there as well. So yeah, so that's my top 3 in regards to top streaming series in Phase 4. So yeah, so Loki, Ms. Marvel, WandaVision. Now, in terms of the worst shows of Phase 4 streaming shows, She-Hulk. She-Hulk, from pretty much start to finish, was just pretty bland. For a series that tried to tout itself as a comedy, really dropped the ball. The CGI the whole time was pretty suspect. It just, She-Hulk herself, like, she was always like kind of googly-eyed, big eyes kind of thing. It never really, they never really perfected it when they did that show. See, Hulk was already perfected. Like the Smart Hulk, when he was making his cameos, he looked fine. He looked great. But She-Hulk, when you have your main character mostly CGI, you got to buy in. You can't be distracted by, oh my God, that looks like, Uncanny Valley right there. Or, whoa, like that doesn't look natural, that sort of thing. You don't buy into the character because you're distracted. The show falls flat. It's sort of like with Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, right? Yoda. If you buy into Yoda and don't see him as a puppet, if you buy into that, then the movie succeeds, right? The show, like if you don't buy into She-Hulk and her CGI and just take it as, oh, okay, that's, okay, it's just She-Hulk, that's what she is, it's not going to fly. For me, I had a problem with that. CGI was a problem for me, and also the lack of humor. I didn't feel like that show really delivered. So for me, it was a very disappointing experience. So that's that. Other disappointing shows, What If? What If had its moments. What had its moments? Like, I love the episode. It was a cartoon animated series. I love the episode where Ultron gets the Infinity Stones and just wreaks havoc. That was probably my favorite episode. And there's also the episode of Doctor Strange where he eats another Doctor Strange. Like, they become one and he becomes really bad. That episode was okay. Very melancholy, very sad. But definitely the Ultron episode was pretty solid. So actually, you know what? Let's make What If number 3 worst. Number 2, Hawkeye. I thought Hawkeye was okay. Wasn't the greatest. It was touted as like a Christmassy kind of, show with a little Die Hard sprinkled in. It was all right. It was nothing fantastic. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the greatest. So those are my top 3 worst shows. So yeah, so we'll take it and we'll leave it there. In terms of the specials, both were fantastic. Werewolf by Night, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, both worked. Both were great pacing. The holiday special had incredible humor. It was very poignant too. It had the Christmassy flavor. Like, where Hawkeye didn't hit the bullseye was the Christmassy kind of feel. But yeah, James Gunn with the holiday special, I saw it like a ton of times. It really well done. And the Werewolf by Night, just perfect amount of creepiness. Acting was good, set the mood, Halloween feel, really well done. So, geez, guys, Marvel Studios, anybody there watching this, please keep serving up the special presentations. They're really delicious, bite-sized pieces of content that you don't need to like commit like 18 weeks to watch 18 episodes to, because I know Daredevil will have like an 18 episode run. So I don't know. For me, being a busy dad, and the only times I get to watch this stuff pretty much is on my phone while in the bathroom or like washing dishes. That's pretty much the only times I see this stuff. So if you could give me like 45 minutes to an hour of a special presentation talking about some Marvel characters, I am in. So keep serving it up. All right. So that's pretty much my take on Phase 4, the hits and misses, the highs and lows, the best, the worst. So what do you think? What did you think of phase four? Are you like many people and you were disappointed? Or are you like me and you thought it was fine? It was just setting the stage for future phases and future projects. Let me know. Comment below. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your time. Until we see each other again, have a good one.